Mark Williams, Dr. Kathy Davis, Superintendent of the Utica City School District, and Mayor Paul Mary. Each one will go through a little bit about what each individual agency is handling right now, any questions that will be asked afterwards, and how we will handle school functions going forward. Chief Williams, would you like to speak first?
Sure. Before I get started, I just want to say that this is an active and ongoing investigation. I haven't had a chance to talk to my CID commander as they're continuing the investigation on this. So I have a brief recap of what had occurred, and any questions thereafter will probably be limited until I get more information, and we'll follow up. So today, there was a day football game, a varsity football game, with Proctor versus Binghamton. During that football game, late in the fourth quarter, security staff at the Armory Drive entrance stopped a group of males. They were trying to enter the game. They suspected that something wasn't right with this group, and they refused to let them into the stadium. Shortly thereafter, when the game ended, in the parking lot of Proctor High School, just off Tilden Ave, opposite the Army Drive entrance, a large fight occurred. During that fight, there were two Utica School District security officers that attempted to break up that fight. During the altercation, shots rang out, and there was a Utica City School District employee, security officer, that was shot in the back of the head. He was transported by Utica Fire Department EMS immediately to St. Elizabeth's Hospital, and his condition is listed as critical but stable. I do have to mention that during the football game, the security was staffed with 4 Utica police officers and 8 civilian Utica City School District security officers as well. And they also had metal detectors at the entrances for any attendees. What I would like to say is that, and I do have to mention that I felt that security did a fantastic job. Had they potentially let this group that attempted to enter the stadium in the fourth quarter, you're talking, if shots had rang out, there could have been multiple victims that could have been jeopardized. So, in my opinion, I think they did a fantastic job. I also want to thank our law enforcement partners here in our area: United County Sheriff's Department, New York State Police, Yorkville PD, New Hartford Police Department, for their quick response and assisting us at the scene. We are asking at this time for our community's help in helping identify the individuals that were involved in this large fight incident, including the shooter. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at this number, 1-866-730-8477. And again, that number is 1-866-730-8477. And all tips would be kept anonymous. Thank you.
Dr. Davis.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. And again, we were fully staffed with security protocol as well as PD, so I want to thank those individuals that enforced and protected those of us that were all at the game. We had 5 administrators also present and many staff members. So I do want to thank everyone that was there, adults that were there, parents that helped us with entrance and exiting during this matter. School safety is paramount. There is no tolerance for weapons on school property. The district will be working with the UPD to identify anyone involved. We will be fully invoking the code of conduct. Phone-in counseling will be available between 10 and 2 tomorrow at 315-792-2210 for any student that is struggling with this matter. There will be no activities on school property tomorrow. No after-school activities on Monday. We will be following up with parents and staff tomorrow regarding extra security measures that will be put in place on Monday. Counseling will also be set up Monday for staff and students. Additional security measures will be instituted this week. I do want to thank again the Utica City School District staff, UPD, all of our police agencies, our Board of Education members who were also at the game, for their support and being here today. I also want prayers to go out to our staff member who is injured, and I will be notifying all of our teachers later with updates in regards to our staff member. And a special thank you to Isaiah, one of our security guards who was at the gate and really mitigated a potentially bad situation, Isaiah Patterson. So thank you, Isaiah, on behalf of the Utica City Schools. Mayor?
Chief, I'm sorry.
I'd just like to say one further comment. The actions of these security officers were heroic, and our hearts and our prayers are with that security officer and his family.
To add, which has been discussed, is it's something that I think that we all hope, work for, pray for that doesn't happen. Unfortunately, it has happened. And I think the fact that is prepared and well designed as we were, it could have been far worse than it was. Utica Police Department, the security that was put in place, obviously averted something that could have been catastrophic. Unfortunately, one of the individuals with the Utica School District, our hearts and prayers go out for him. Again, I will just say this, I'm very emotional at this point. I will not, as a mayor, stand for this behavior in my city. And whatever has to be done will be done. And if that means that we're going to be beefing it up and doing what we have to do with some of the problem cronies that are out there, you can bet your life that we are going to do it. It's a great city, and we're not going to have a few spoil it for the rest of us. So my prayers go out for, again, the victim, and my prayers go out for everybody at this point as we come together as a school district and as a city.
Please understand this is a very fluid and ongoing investigation. The breadth and scope of our questions and answers might not be to your liking or full understanding of the public. We'll do our very best to answer whatever we can right now. There will be further investigation, there will be further releases, and individual interviews will be granted in the coming days. However, after this press conference, all questions are going to remain right now. So please go ahead with any questions you have. Tom?
Two questions. Number one, was there only one, to the best of your knowledge at this point, only one shooter?
That we know of, yes.
Okay. Second thing is, can you share with us what it may have been about this group of males that put the radar on the security guys and said, this is not a good situation. Don't let these guys in that football stadium.
I don't have the full details on that. I know that security officer is being talked with our criminal investigation division, so I don't want to put any information. It may not be accurate this time, so I really can't answer that question.
There are metal detectors at the game, but it sounds like this was maybe, even if there were, this was before it would have got to that point.
There are metal detectors at the top of the driveway before you get into the stadium. They have to pass through the first gate, then they get metal detected before they enter the field. So we are also going to be relooking at that as well.
I'm sorry, I know it's early, but are you getting any information about like future prognosis?
I know on social media photographs and videos that are being posted by citizens. I hope it's the same citizens that come forward and help us solve this case and identify the people that were involved in this incident, specifically the shooter. So social media is one form of getting information out, but that information needs to be shared with law enforcement. The best community policing that we see in this community was when citizens cooperate with the police.
Do you even know exactly how many shots that were fired?
I don't know the exact number. We figure there's at least 2, but there could have been more.
And just to clarify, you have not, we don't know what's in custody, but you haven't identified a suspect?
Not at this time.
Has the security guards family been informed?
They have.
Dr. Davis, could you repeat the information about the counseling services offered tomorrow?
Yes, so tomorrow between 10 and 12, we will be having phone-in counseling services. Our counselors are showing up here at the administration building, and we will have counselors available to speak to our students. They need to dial in, though. It's 315-792-2210. At this time, we're not having anyone on campus, unfortunately, until we have more leads from the UPD, and we won't be bringing people together at this time. We will be communicating back out to our parents tomorrow as well as Monday morning, and we will be keeping everybody informed as to the next steps. But the number is 315-792-2210.
This was the season opener for football. Have you made any decisions yet as to what you might do with the remainder of the home schedule, or is it too early?
It's too early at this point. What our plan is to circle back, and we're having another meeting with the UPD and our security protocol here at the school, and then we'll determine next steps. Right now, I can tell you that there's no activity on school property tomorrow, Sunday, and there'll be no after-school activities on Monday. Once we have identified the individuals involved, if they're students, then we'll follow through under the code of conduct, and as well as the UPD will be following through under their protocols as well.
Do you know if this is gang related?
At this time, no. There's a lot of rumors out there that we haven't substantiated. We even heard there was 2 victim shots. So there's a lot of misinformation that's going out there as well. Again, I haven't met with my CID commander to find out what information that he has developed at this point, and but it could be gang related. I just can't say for sure.
Are there any cameras in the surrounding area or anywhere close to the field that you could look to use for evidence throughout this?
As part of any investigation, we look for poll cameras, business cameras, residential cameras, and in this case, any school cameras. So we call back the entire staff of the Criminal Investigation Division, all their investigators, and part of their investigation is try to locate those cameras and see if we can develop any footage that involved this incident.
Can you know, just describe, once you do catch the person responsible, how it'll go down differently if they're a minor?
You know, one of the issues that we face with some of the criminal reform laws is raise the age. And it may be premature to say this because we don't know the name or the age of the suspect, but it isn't uncommon to see that the large majority of our shooters and victims of shootings are under the age of 18, and they're treated a lot different than they are adult. There's a youth part that they could be charged with and sent to Utica City Court. But in a lot of cases, what ends up happening is the case gets remanded back to family court, and we just don't see the consequences that an adult would face. So it's not uncommon when we arrest a juvenile with a handgun that record's sealed within months and adjudicated. And then for example, we had a youth that was caught with a handgun in March. We arrested the same youth back in July with a handgun. That first incident was sealed. And when they go to the youth part of Utica City Court, to be charged as an adult, because the judges under the law are not able to view the records in family court, they're treated as a first-time offender and it goes back to family court. And that's the frustration with police. Deal with these.
I can tell you the school district, gun on school property can carry up to a year suspension out of school. So the school district will obviously have what we call superintendent hearings, and those individuals will be addressed through that process.
Do you have the gun or no?
I'm sorry?
The gun.
No. Not that I'm aware of.
Just wondering, by playing Binghamton in this game, and was there anything going on in the game or anything Binghamton related, you think?
I was at the game with my husband, and I was there. The game was quiet. There were families, there were young children, there were babies. There were about 400 in attendance, and the game was orderly. Again, we had a full complement of security. We also had UPD there in force. So everything was in play. We had our security system, which was working. This happened outside the secure area. It happened in a parking lot.
All right, like we said, any releases will be comprehensive and released on a timely fashion. We'll provide individual interviews tomorrow and in the coming days, but thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you.